Good morning, 5th grade. It's Miss Clark. I'm going to be reading chapter 15 for you today from Where the Sea Turned to Silver. Chapter 15. I feel I shouldn't let you leave, Suya said, shaking her head. The cold morning light cascaded through the window. Pinmei and Yashan were packed to go. They had planned to leave before breakfast, so as not to add to Suya's food worries. But she pushed 2 bowls of hot porridge into their hands. Children, walking alone to the city of bright moonlight? In winter? You're meeting someone there? Yashan nodded. Well, I'm sure we will meet someone, he hissed at Pinmei when he caught her guilty expression. Pinmei could easily imagine Suya's horror if she knew the truth. Sifen, old Sai, Suya said, shaking her head again. Tell them to stay. I wish I could go with you, Sifen said from his bed, and the longing was obvious in his voice. Old Sai brought them 2 rolls, a leather ground cover, and 2 4 blankets, he said with satisfaction. His eyes twinkled at them. From the hidden hole under my bed. We'll bring them back, Pinmei said, realizing their value. Just bring back a good tale. Storyteller's granddaughter, Old Sai said kindly. Yes, Sifen called. I'll be expecting a good one. And with that, they left. The door of the stone house closed, and the silence of winter mocked them. Suddenly, Pinmei yearned for the sound of Amma's voice, and inside she felt as if the ever-present hollow ache would swallow her. She blinked her eyes at the glittering ice-covered stones and took a deep breath. It was time to leave the mountain. Yashan led Pinmei to the main road as she nestled into her multicolored coat, its warmth like Amma's arms. The snow began to fall, gently at first, but then heavier and heavier, flakes dropping and fluttering all around. They're like white butterflies, Pinmei thought, hundreds and hundreds of white butterflies. And one red one. A wavering, brilliant red color flittered in front of them. A red butterfly? Impossible. Pinmei shook her head, and when she looked again, there was only the white falling snow. She must be seeing things. After a good distance, the grumbling in Yashan's stomach became so loud he had to admit he was hungry. As they unrolled the leather ground cover to sit at the side of the road, they found a package with a generous supply of rice balls, most likely smuggled in by Sifen or Old Sai. With cries of delight, they fell upon them as if they were candied berries. I hope they don't get in trouble with Suya for giving us these, said Pinmei with appreciation. Yashan grunted in agreement, his mouth too full to reply. And for a moment, all was quiet except for their satisfied munching. But only for a moment, for just as Pinmei swallowed her second rice ball, there was a faint rumble in the distance. She recognized that sound. Horses. Pinmei looked at Yashan in alarm. He had cocked his head, listening intently. Just one horse, he said, and coming fast. He probably won't even notice us. And there's the picture. Pinmei listened again. She could hear the galloping hooves on the stone now. They waited, not even attempting to swallow their food. Faster and closer, faster and closer, faster and closer, and at last, like a cresting wave, the rider burst out of the silver mist. As the rider passed, Pinmei gaped at him. He was riding a milk-white horse, so white the animal blended into the snow. The rider, a flash of gleaming blue silk, looked like he was flying. They passed only for a moment, but the horse's thundering hoofs behind it belied its grace, for it seemed to glide more than run. As the horse and rider began to fade into the distance, Pinmei kept staring, unable to look away. So she saw it clearly when the horse screamed with a panicked shriek and reared, and the blue smear of the thrown rider collapsed to the ground. And that was chapter 15. Tune in tomorrow for the next chapter. Bye.